Hi, is this Deena?
This is Deena. Hi.
Hi, it's Travis. How you doing?
Oh my God, you're calling me directly?
Yes, ma'am.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I just want to let you know that South Florida is losing their ever-loving minds, me included, overboard to death. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I love Florida. I can't wait to be back over there.
You guys are back on August 5th at the Perfect Vodka Amphitheater, which is, I think, the only venue that has the power to hold Blink-182. I think it's going to be a great scene with you guys.
Oh, thanks. I can't wait. We're looking forward to it.
Here's what I was wondering. You know, we heard you guys were working on something, and it seems impossible. You're parting ways with a founding member. You're adding a stellar new addition in Matt, and then you're evolving. How do you retain the angst?
An adult is a grown-up child. You still go through the same things every day as, you do as when you're young. Like, you're frustrated, you're pissed off, you're happy, you're, whatever. So I feel like we touch on everything on this album, and we just get better like wine. That's the jam.
Agreed. And what are you frustrated about these days? What are your top three frustrations?
LA traffic a little bit, but other than that, man, I'm so blessed.
You have a beautiful situation in that with the talent that you possess, you just look at something and you say, I want to do that. I'll start a whole side project. I saw you posted a picture with Andre 3000. You guys have something that you're working on.
I was playing at Coachella with Run the Jewels, who's one of the best hip-hop, rap groups of our time. Mm-hmm. And I was leaving stage and I saw Andre, and he said, man, we got to do something together. And we just chopped it up, man. I've been a big, huge fan of Outkast and Andre for years. So I was really stoked. And he had said he was just over at Kid Cudi's studio listening to what me and Kid Cudi did about a year ago. Because Kid Cudi plays guitar now, and he's actually a really great guitar player. I guess Cudi's been sharing whatever music we recorded together.
You must have to just swat people away like flies. I'm sure everybody wants to work with you.
I think I'm lucky enough to work with people I really want to work with. Obviously the transplants, like Tim Armstrong from Rancid and Rob, those are two people I love working with. Anything I do for my solo album, I love working with those guys. I just did a record with Steve Aoki and Little Uzi Vert. That's been fun. I just really, really surround myself with people that inspire me and that like music as much as I do. It doesn't even seem like work. It's just collaborating.
Do you know how to relax? Is that a thing you're able to do?
I'm learning. Even when I go to boxing, sometimes they're like, dude, take 2 days off. And I'm like, oh, I can't. I end up doing something, That's just how I'm programmed. I'm alive, I'm living, and it's hard for me to rest.
And I have to commend you guys. It's your first album without Tom. In the entertainment industry as a whole, you kind of, if a band member drops off or a character is replaced in a movie trilogy or something, you just act like they just vanished. Nobody talks about it, and it's so weird, especially to the fans. But the fact that you guys are actually talking about it and being honest is unique. I think we all appreciate that.
Oh, well, that's cool. It wasn't. It's kind of weird how everything's happened, and now it's all circled back around. I'm friends with Tom. I talk to him on a weekly basis. It doesn't seem to be like there's any hard feelings, from his way. There's absolutely no hard feelings my way. Obviously, I love the guy. He's a great songwriter. I just think, timing was bad, and, some things were said, and he ended up taking a break. And during that break, the way I see it is we made this amazing album, and it's time to go tour it and release it to the fans.
And in California, you guys recorded the whole thing in just your studio? Was it your home studio?
Well, no, I have a studio in Hollywood, and we got in after we had played Muse Inc. and a couple other shows last year, and we didn't really know what it was. We just said, hey, let's try recording. There was no deal in place where we had to record or turn in an album.
Nice.
And we recorded 25, 30 songs, and then as we were finishing up those 30 songs, I was having lunch with John Feldman that week. And it hit me I was like, man, I should bring in Feldman to produce the Blink album, because I think we had a really, really great group of songs, and they were great warm-up songs to what was going to become the album. But I really had this idea for us to work with multiple producers. And then I mentioned the idea to Matt and Mark, and they were into at least meeting with John. and then we never got around to working with any other producer because Feldy just killed it, and it was such great vibes. And I mean, we had brunch with him. The next day, we got in the studio. We didn't leave his studio until like a month and a half later when we had like 28 songs.
So you banged out 28 songs in a month and a half?
Yeah.
From start to finish?
From start to finish. I mean, like the first day, Bored to Death was born, and 2 other songs. We did we pretty much averaged like 3 songs a day the days we worked.
Have you ever worked that quickly before?
That's the pace with Transplants that I'm used to, that I've always been used to. Tim's very spontaneous and very that's an idea, let's record it, don't overthink stuff. So I was always used to that kind of method of recording, and the rest of the guys in Blink were very much slower pace. And it was so fun and so cool to have Blink working at this pace. It just made the world a difference. And I love that. I always believe, in music and everything, your first instinct, you got to trust your first instinct. And especially, with, music and writing, I always trust that as well. It's 99.9% always right.
You're so spot on with that. So everything flowed well, obviously. I mean, we got a beautiful end result. And I'm going to ask you 2 last questions that came in from listeners over and over and over again. One is, what's your favorite childhood cereal, actually?
Childhood cereal, I'd have to say Captain Crunch. But peanut butter puffins, I actually ate them this morning because I knew I was in a hurry.
Nobody knows those when I reference them. Are they bigger in LA than they are here in Florida?
Well, I think they're the little bit healthier version of Captain Crunch as you get older.
It says organic, so it must be good, right?
Yeah.
And then what was your favorite cartoon?
Popeye. I love that cartoon.
Very good. Classic. You guys will be here on August 5th. The album's out July 1st, who came up with the fact that it was the 182nd day of the year?
I'm not sure who came up with that, but I know, everything was dependent on getting it out on that day. I had my buddy D-Face do artwork for it. Everything from it getting mastered to turning in artwork was dude, we got to get it turned in because it's got to come out on the 182nd day of the year. So we were really excited about it. I don't know who originally came up with it, but I'm stoked. It's just another thing that makes a lot of sense in the Blink world.
Yeah, and you mentioned the artwork. The artwork is fantastic.
D-Face is one of the best. I love him. I have a bunch of his artwork. It was an honor to have him, do our album cover.
Well, the new single, Bored to Death, blowing up in South Florida. The California is out on July 1st, the 182nd day of the year. Travis, Soup to Nuts, we're so excited about the new music and the tour and everything. Thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.